Former FBI agent, former Navy SEAL, and author of Sheep No More, Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, great to have you on this morning. Thanks for joining me. So when this happens to 9 different people in the same time frame, does that mean we're looking at a highly coordinated attack?
Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you and all the viewers. And I do believe it's a coordinated attack. Now, how coordinated, I'm not sure how many people were involved, because it still hasn't been made known whether these were mail-in threats, or whether people called the police departments, or whether they were cyber threats, where they wrote in on an email. But either way, this takes a tremendous amount of effort for somebody to gain all that information of where those people live. And then even if it was just a cyber threat, they have to find the emails. And then with law enforcement, if they're calling the precincts, again, they have to know where these individuals live and call those precincts. So I would say this takes more than just one individual that's out there. It could be one individual who did their research, but most likely I would say that other people are involved with this because of the nefarious content in these threats, who was targeted, and the timing in which they've been targeted, which is right now that vulnerable state in between election and when the president and his cabinet take over.
So one of the targets, EPA chief nominee Lee Zeldin, said that the threat against him included a pro-Palestinian themed message, suggesting potential ties to domestic terrorism. What's your reaction to that?
Well, you know what it suggests to me is not just that it's connected to domestic terrorism. This is domestic terrorism, right? So we know that the fact of use of intimidation and force for a political aim, that's part of the definition of terrorism. But it's what they put in there that connects them directly to the left, directly to the Democrats. And I want everybody to think about that. I've caught a lot of heat during the attempted assassinations of Trump for saying that I believe that the Democrat Party wanted Trump bankrupt, in prison, or dead. And now I think what we're seeing are these threats are particular to what is important to the radical left. And the fact that they put that in there in many of these tells me that this is not just some individual who is wanting to put pressure or doing it as a prank. This is somebody from the Democrat Party, I believe. I don't believe it's necessarily, we should just say it's Iran or Palestinian or Hamas themselves. I believe this is people who align with the Democrat Party who are going to continue these types of terroristic attacks. And I think the fact that that was in there is very telling.
Well, yeah, this dangerous rhetoric hasn't stopped, especially when talking about Donald Trump. You know, they're still calling him Hitler every single day. And earlier this week, an Arizona man was arrested after he allegedly posted videos online threatening to kill President-elect Donald Trump and his family. And now, obviously, this man was stopped, but we know there were already, as you mentioned, 2 assassination attempts on Trump. He was shot once on July 13th. How difficult is it now for the Secret Service to keep this man and his family safe?
Well, it's very difficult, and none of these cabinet members were under Secret Service protection. So think about that. Once they get into their offices, they should have protection provided by those agencies. But at this point, they do not, and so that is a huge deal. As far as Trump goes, the level of security that he has around him now, as compared to when this occurred, is double or triple. Yeah. But still, we have to look at where the ball was dropped with the Secret Service before, which was perimeter security primarily, and then the ability to move him out of the line of fire immediately. Those two things are not just individual Secret Service issues of agents, but that is a agency-wide problem that, to my knowledge, has never been fixed. And so that is a big thing that points again to people on the left that run the Secret Service and their politicians creating avenues of approach for any would-be assassin. And I think when we look at all this across the board, it points to the left every single time. The same radical Marxist type of mentality is pushing this narrative out, and it's affecting people with aggressive type of behavior.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.